sure. Hi guys, my name's Hayden Crawford and I'm a wellness coach and spiritual teacher specializing in colour therapy and numerology. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the wisdom of colour numerology. So I teach Pythagorean numerology and this amazing colour therapy system, which is called the colour mirrors, which is a sequence of 87 different dual coloured oil bottles and over 60 different essence sprays. Now, colours and numbers are the language of light, so it's a language that we understand subconsciously. And I'm going to be offering you insights into your personality blueprint, your soul purpose, your strengths and weaknesses, the best times for you to embark on new projects and ventures, all from your date of birth. So your date of birth carries all of this information. So your soul actually chooses the time, the place, the date of birth that you come to the earth plane on, and also your name as well. So you might think that that was given to you by your parents, but actually you chose it all at a soul level before you arrive here. So from that, I can work out what's going on for you across 3 different planes of existence. So mental, emotional, and physical. And it's amazing what it reveals about, who you truly are and what you're here to do. Now, what I also do is I look at the position of your sun at the time you were born through astrology, and that reveals where your soul originated from after it left source consciousness. So whether you were from Andromeda, like me, or maybe you were from the Pleiades or Arcturus or Sirius or Alpha Centauri or Lyra or Vega, or one of a multitude of other galaxies and star systems within our heavens. So Pythagorean numerology really is a science more than anything else. And it's been by far the most accurate and reliable tool that I use within my wellness consultations, working with clients all across the globe. Now, the interesting thing is the colour mirrors as well is a numerology-based colour therapy system. So each of the dual coloured oil bottles is numbered. And so that layers extra information in about who you truly are and what you're here to do. So I think without any further ado, the best thing that I can do is to ask you to, whoever wants me to look at their birth chart and to reveal these insights about them, to leave your date of birth in the comments section. And what I'll do is I will educate you as we go along and also give you some insights so that you can get some clarity on your purpose and direction in life. Okay, so we've got Andrea, nice to see you, Andrea, and Margarita as well. Okay, so I'll start with you because you were the early bird that caught the worm here today, Andrea, and you were born on the 19th. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just transferring the numbers from your date of birth into my chart, and then I'll reveal what comes up for you. Okay, you were born in 1975, so you're 3 years younger than me. Look at you. So this is Andrea. Okay, so Andrea, now what we do is we just draw out, it's a bit like playing tic-tac-toe or noughts and crosses, but with numbers. So we're looking for patterns that appear within the actual birth chart. Okay, so if you've got more than one, they go in the same box and it amplifies the qualities of that number. So you got the 7, you got the 8, you got the 2 9s there, the 7 and the 5. Okay, and then we can also draw out arrows as well. These are called arrows of individuality. So what we can see about Andrea here is that, first of all, we want to look at what her ruling number is, because that carries the most information, the most weight within her birth chart. And we do that by adding up all of the numbers in her date of birth and then reducing it down to its lowest common denominator. Okay, so apart from if it's a 10, an 11 or a 22, which becomes a 22 over 4. So Andrea is a 9, 10, 18, 19, 28, 29, 35, 40. So you're a ruling number 4. So that's the biggest influence. Now, number 4 sits on the physical plane. So you're a doing person. So you're probably quite good with your hands. You like active participation in life. And you'll also be attracted by the material aspects of life as well. So the 4 is, it's very much a physical number. If you think of it as being like a square, okay, so it's like a building block. And in the color mirror system, the number 4 is this bottle here, which is called Uranus, which is the planet of the future. So it's a beautiful yellow over a very deep turquoise. I don't know if you can see that there. So Uranus, being the planet of the future, has to learn to let go of all the things that no longer serves it within its life experience for its soul's growth. And that could be old structures, old people, old places, old beliefs that are no longer in alignment with your soul truth, so that you can pave the way for the new emerging golden age. So the 4 is very much the physical doing, that if they go into a profession, they'll go into something that's more of the manual arts, or they'll go into something where they can use their hands usually, or if they're in the world of wellness, then they would be more inclined to do massage or yoga rather than some of the other ones. Now, the other thing that Andrea has got is she's a day number 10, and we get that by adding the 1 and the 9 together. And the 10 is also a physical number, so we don't reduce that down to a 1. The only time you're a day number 1 is if you're born on the first day of the month. So her day number is a 10. Now, this is another physical number. We know about the 10s is that they are very adaptable people, and you can usually put them into any environment, any work environment, and they'll do really well. They also like to keep a lot of their friendships or relationships a little bit superficial, because they don't really want people knowing what's going on for them internally. But it's actually represented by the Wheel of Fortune. So the 1 is masculine, the 2 is feminine. Okay, so that's a great way to remember it. So the 10 here is called the Wheel of Fortune in the colour mirrors system, and it's this beautiful gold over olive green bottle. And this represents Isis, the goddess who gave birth to the sun. So she was the wife of Osiris, the king of the underworld, and also the mother of Horus, so the ancient Egyptian goddess. Now, if you give a day number 10 person lemons, they'll make lemonade. So they're alchemists. They're able to consciously create their own reality, and they're leaders, because the 1 is a leader, but this is a very soft feminine power that can never be abused. Okay, so it's this beautiful soft feminine leadership. So it's non-ego based leadership skills. So when you put those 2 bottles together, the 4 and the 10, you can see that, there's a lot of yellow and green energy that comes in together. Now, when we get that color combination coming up, it often relates to it's a group of people in the 14th to 16th century called the Cathars. Okay, and the Cathars were alchemists. They found a way of turning base metal into gold, but then they were persecuted and they were killed because of their abilities by the military and the Pope at the time. So a lot of the time, people who have a lot of yellow and green energy within their soul colors, it often dates back to soul memories or issues that have come up during those lifetimes that they maybe have to deal with within this lifetime as well, because as you know, everything kind of runs simultaneously, and the only reason that we perceive our life as it is because it's our point that we're focusing on right now, but it's all kind of existing simultaneously. So what we can also see here is she's got these 2 arrows, the arrow of determination, which means that she's actually got very, very strong and persistent in life to be able to achieve her goals and dreams. So she's like a dog with a bone. She'll see her goals through to finality, no problems whatsoever. So she won't start a project and stop it. And she's also got this arrow here, which is called the arrow of activity, which is on the active end of the birth chart. Now, this means that, Andrea is somebody who's always on the go. She's always here, there, everywhere, doing lots of different things, always kind of doing. And this is a suppression of nervous energy. Okay, so that's why it causes this almost frenetic kind of need to be always on the go. And the interesting thing about that is, to relax, she needs to be able to have cooling, calming, peaceful company around her so that she can just slow down and find her feet. She is very organized and independent. Her communication skills are very, very good, because when you've got 2 1s, you're a good listener as also being a good talker. But because she's got a 5, which is the center of her emotional plane, it means that she understands how she feels. So she's able to communicate that well. So it's perfectly balanced communication. The other thing that we notice about her is she's got this amplification of her 9 energy, and the 9 is all about idealism and responsibility and wanting to help and to heal and to be of service. So when we see those 2 9s there, like that's like this amplification of her desire to want to help people. So for me, I feel like she could have her own business. She wants to be doing something that's going to be, sort of quite a physical occupation, or something that's going to mean that she does things. And she's going to be always on the go, very determined, very strong lady. She's like a female leader, it's quite dynamic. So I would say that, yeah, she's got a real strength of character and very independent as well. We can also work out what personal year cycle she's in as well, because we travel in 9-year cycles in numerology, and we kind of go through peaks and troughs. So, when we start off in a year 1, fresh new energy comes in, and at the 9, it's almost like the end of all those old, that chapter. And the way we work that out is we add up 2000, we're in 2021, so that adds up to a 5 plus the 8 plus the 9 and the 1. Okay, so it's 10, 15, 25, 23. So actually, Andrea is in a personal year cycle 5. And the 5 we know is all about freedom and versatility. It's mercurial energy. So she doesn't want to feel restricted at all this year. It's really important for her to be able to, to be able to kind of just feel free. She needs to be able to travel, and it would have been quite difficult year for her, what with COVID and the lockdown and everything like that, because it's like her soul this year wants to explore, it wants to communicate, it wants to be versatile. Okay, so hopefully that's made sense for you, Andrea. Leave a few comments and let me know what you thought of that. Now, I'm only wetting your whistle at the moment. Okay, so I'm just giving you some insights based on your date of birth. Now, to get a really accurate interpretation of your personality blueprints and your strengths and weaknesses and all of the rest of the stuff I spoke about at the beginning, you really do need to look at your living name and your soul urge, which is derived from the vowels within the living name, and also the outer expression, which is how you're perceived by the outside world. So one kind of looks at, your conscious, and the other one looks at your subconscious aspects that kind of either support or compound, the influences within your birth chart. So the living name is the name that you prefer to go by, not necessarily the name that's on your birth certificate. Okay, so you've got to go with the one that you use more regularly. And what we do is we put the 2 charts side by side, and then we can see, oh, okay, where are the amplifications? Are all of her numbers on the physical plane her major influences? Do they balance each other? Do they offer broaden her personality archetype? What do they do? So if you want more information, Andrea, then I offer, there are 20-page handcrafted, it's called a Starseed Numerology report. I'll put a link in the comments section, and it gives you almost like a roadmap of what's coming up for you in your life. They're quite predictive as well, because they look at your peak years of maturity, which come really through your there's 4 main cycles that's derived from a very special calculation, which dates back to actually times of Atlantis. So a lot of the information that I'm revealing to you today has deep connotations and connections with Atlantis, but we know that the Atlanteans were seeded by the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and Syrians and Andromedans. So actually this wisdom actually predates Pythagoras, and it goes back to our starry ancestors. So it's it's incredible how it all works together. So if you want one of those reports, they do take me about 5 to 7 business days to create, because they are handcrafted. As I said, they're not computer generated, and they're on special at the moment for only 59 Australian dollars. Okay, so I will need your date, time, and place of birth to have one of those, and then I can forward one of those onto you via email. It's a PDF document. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next person now. So let's have a look. I'll scroll back up and have a look and see whose date of birth is jumping out at me. Andrea, how did that go for you? If you can leave a few comments and let me know if you resonated with your insights there, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll have to see if I can find, I've been running a Reiki course today in Mandra, and I took my blackboard rubber with me and I left it there. So I'm going to have to use my COVID mask to be able to wipe my board clean. Well, we don't have any issues over here in Australia. We're pretty lucky. That's where I'm talking to you from today. I'm in Perth in Western Australia. I know a lot of you guys are in the States. It's it's 10:45 at night now. So I've stayed awake just to entertain you all this evening. I hope you appreciate it. All right, so who should we go to next? I'm having a look through. Lisa, you look like a smiley person. Did you leave your date of birth there, Lisa? Yeah, Lisa LaRue, is that you? There you are, Lisa. Okay, Lisa, you were born, is it on the 5th of the 9th or the 9th of the 5th? The 5th of the 9th. Okay, so the 5th of the 9th. Okay, great. Because I know that sometimes, you know, in America, you put it the other way around. So you're May. Are you May? Are you the 9th of May? You just go like that if you're the 9th of May. You're the 9th of May. Okay. Yeah, so if I can ask you to put your dates of birth in as the day first, and then the month, and then the year, okay? Because in Australia, we do it the other way around, so it can get a little bit confusing, and it changes the outcome as well. So we've got to make sure that we do this properly, okay? And you're 1952, Lisa, yeah? Brilliant. And whereabouts are you in the world then, Lisa? You can leave that in the comments section. Let me know whereabouts you are. So you've got the 2 9s. You've got a 5, you've got a 2. What else have you got there? 2 9s, you've got the 5, you've got 2 5s. Okay, great. So Lisa, again, what we can see here, you're a day number 9. All the best people have got 9s within their numerology. Now, the 9 is I can't hear you, Lisa, but that's okay. If you leave the comments in the section. Now, the 9 is the healer. The 9 is the humanitarian. The 9 is the counselor, you know, the person who wants to be of service, and the person who wants to heal people. So they're often very wise. So you'd be like a wise woman, you know, who has got a lot of, you know, who really wants to be of service. Now, you also carry a great sense of responsibility, very ambitious. And you are also somebody, you know, who's a little bit idealistic as well. So you can, you know, perceive the world through rose-colored spectacles. Now, bottle 9 in the color mirror system is this bottle here, which is called Mars. Now, it's red over orange, actually. I know it looks in the light there, it looks like red over red, but it's actually red over orange, and it's fire energy. So for you, you've got to make sure on a day-to-day basis that you do and say what needs doing and saying, instead of being meek and mild and getting angry and frustrated. Okay, so that's one of the things about the 9s, you know, because it's fire. Don't suppress the things that you need to say, communicate it, and it'll help you to, you know, to overcome any issues like that. What we can also see is that you feel things very intensely, because you've got 2 5s within your birth chart, and this is an intensity of feeling. So a lot of the time that means you feel things more intensely than most people. So you've got to be very careful not to get into any heated discussions or have atmospheres before you eat, because it can play havoc with your digestive system. Okay, so this is an intensity of your feelings. Now, you struggle a little bit to communicate how you feel. You've only got 1 1, and that's your male energy, which also relates to verbal self-expression. So when you've only got 1 1 in your date of birth, it means that there's a restriction around how you communicate. So you do know how you feel, and you feel things intensely, but when it comes to verbalizing it, it's almost like, this is hard, you know? So that's where that sort of learning to say what you need to say instead of going, oh, I wish I'd said that, is very important for your soul's experience. Now, you are naturally very intuitive. Your feminine, intuitive, sensitive, and psychic skills are very, very well balanced. Okay, so you've got very good gut first impressions of people. You know, again, your 9 energy is very amplified there as well. Now, you've got also this arrow of determination, which is actually classed as a positive arrow within your birth chart. So if you have any numbers that are not present, either diagonally, horizontally, or vertically, that's also classed as an arrow of individuality, but it's classed as a negative arrow. This one is a positive one. It gives you that grit and determination to be able to achieve your goals and dreams in life. So even if you don't use it all of the time, it's there for you as a trait within your personality blueprint. Now, the biggest weight within your date of birth there, Lisa, is 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 31. So you're a ruling number 4 as well, okay? But it derives from a 31. Now, the 31 in the color mirror system is actually a bottle called the Hermit, which is pale green over green. So it means that sometimes you can isolate yourself and, you know, need your own space. for your own heart related healing. But again, you're a very practical person as well. You've got the Uranus bottle as your as your thing. So you like the material aspects, the physical and the practical aspects of life, and often quite good with your hands as well. So the 4 is, remember, it's like a building block. It's quite fixed. It's a fixed sort of number. So your numbers, they actually offer broadening to your personality, because one sits on the mind plane and one sits on the physical plane, and then you've got plenty of numbers on your really on your soul plane as well. So you've got quite a balanced chart. Now your personal year cycle is a 5, 10, 19. You're in a personal year cycle 1. So it's fresh new energy coming in for you this year. So it means that you're either going to be changing jobs, changing house, or changing relationships, so it'll be like you'll feel like you've got the energy to be able to make some changes. Whereas last year it was the end of a chapter. It was best for you to not make any major decisions last year. But now it's almost like, all of a sudden you're feeling like you've got your mojo back, and that will carry you forward throughout the whole of this year. Okay, so a great strong chart. Definitely somebody who could be, you could be a massage therapist, or you could be a yoga teacher, or you could do those types of modalities if you work within the wellness industry, that is. Does that make sense for you? Good, fantastic, great. Okay, lovely. So I don't think we've heard from Andrea yet. Maybe Andrea got disconnected or something, but I think we'll go to somebody else next. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on, we've got some more messages here. Andrea. So I do go by a different name. That was spot on. I'm always unhappy with my jobs. Right now, I am an information technology business analyst. There you go. And every day long to use my hands. I appreciate the demo session, and we'll get the full session. Thanks so much. You're very welcome. Now, remember, guys, as well, I offer all of my consultations are done via Zoom as well. So I do what's called a starseed activation process, and it starts with a report, and then it goes into a recall where I take you through some deep hypnotic trance-like states to be able to recall either the wounded inner child or some shadow patterns that haven't been resolved, and see how these limiting beliefs are playing out patterns within your life, so you can release those and then move forward into a regression, which takes you through 3 previous past lives. It's almost like a quantum technique that can help you either tune into previous incarnations within your human experience, or even otherworldly. So it's always fascinating to see what comes up. But the whole purpose of those is to help you to reawaken to the truth of who you are. Like for me, for example, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was about 4 years ago now, and I was living in a place called Vass in the southwest of Australia, and I had my midlife awakening, and I was reinventing myself. So I used to work in IT recruitment for many years, and I had this sort of breakthrough, and I knew that I had to stop doing that. And I was laying there in bed one night. I was finding it really difficult to sleep, and I just remember, God knows why I was asking it, but I was like, why, like, who am I, and where am I from? I just remember asking that, and I heard a voice in the back of my head, and it said Andromeda, right? And I was like, what even is that? I thought it sounds crazy. It sounds like Doctor Who or something. So I tried to recall the word. I didn't write it down or anything. And the next day I Googled it, and I found out that Andromeda was a star constellation 2.5 million light years away from Earth. And then when I started researching the Andromedan starseed traits, these people are here to help people to learn how to love themselves unconditionally, and also to value themselves, to have more self-confidence. But more than that, they help people to rediscover their inner wisdom so that they can experience life with more freedom and joy and purpose, So it was like exactly the work that I was doing. So from there, it kind of evolved. And now what I do is I kind of look at the position of the sun at the time you were born, because it gives me information about where portals are able to open up to get your soul through to the earth plane. And it's very revealing. So it gives you links through as well to starseed trait videos. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, there's a link here in the comments section. You can watch all of the videos about all the different starseed flavors, and then from that you might be able to even start discovering where you came from, because a lot of you, I can see, are alpha generation indigo. So you would have come in between 1948 and 1958, or 1968, you know, would be more of a beta generation. But the indigo generation came in to help with the conscious evolution of humanity. So their souls heard the calling. The Earth was in trouble after the bomb went off in Hiroshima, and decided that they wanted to come through to the Earth plane to help raise the vibration of the planet to fifth dimensional consciousness, so the emerging golden age. So you guys are all, if you're, you know, if you've been attracted to the wisdom of color numerology, your souls are being called to this type of thing, and it's because you're a starseed. And you know, sometimes when we wake up to, you know, to our true authentic self, we realize actually we're so much more than who we first perceived ourselves to be, and we've got so many more golden gifts. So numerology is really a way that we can access those golden gifts, understand what our purpose is. Before I knew my numerology, I'm a ruling number 9, okay, and I'm a day number 7, and the 7 is the teacher, the spiritual teacher. It's Neptune energy in the color mirror system, which is this one here, which is pale turquoise over turquoise. So that's like the king of Atlantis. And then the 9 is the healer and the counselor. So when I discovered my numerical influences, I was like, okay, so that means I'm a spiritual teacher, right? And of course, you know, I was guided to work with color. I thought it was good. I was supposed to be a painter for a while, but no one bought my paintings. And then fortunately, I was guided towards working with the color mirrors system, which is an amazing system that was channeled through by a lady called Melissa Jolly in South Africa. And that was back in 2001. So it's a global color therapy system, which, you know, if you're fascinated by it and you want to learn more about it, then I teach it to practitioner level as well. So you can learn this and bring it into your own wellness practice. It's so good. And numerology as well. So I teach both modalities. So I'm going to go on to show, to do another one. So that was Lisa. And I'll just choose somebody randomly here. Let's have a look. Oh, lots of messages here. There you go. Oh, 59 Australian dollars. It's in US. I think it's about like, it's about 33 or something like that, or 40 something. It's less than Australian dollars. You might just need to jump onto currency converter. I'm sure it was like about 33 the last time I looked. 45 Australian. Oh, there you go. Must have gone up in the exchange rate. Okay, great. So I'm going to choose Diane. Diane next. Diane Campbell. Where are you, Diane? Oh, I've got a Diane. Oh, we've got 2 Dianes. They've got Diane Nowicki and Diane Campbell's there in the coral top. Hiya, Diane. There you go. And it's interesting because Diane is a name that I come across a lot within like my client base. It's a name that's very familiar to me. I attract a lot of Dianes, and I also attract a lot of people who are when you add up all the numbers in your date of birth, add up to 29. All right. So I want everybody to add up all the numbers in their date of birth. And I want you to tell me if it adds up to 29, because I always tend to attract people who have that influence. It's actually an 11. We reduce it down from a 29 to an 11, but it's the Olympic spiritual athlete. So these are often people that have chosen quite difficult life experiences for them to have a swift evolution of soul. So let me know in the comments section if yours adds up to a 9. I'd be really fascinated to find out. Oh, wow, Diane, I've just realized you're born on the same day as me. The 16th of October. There you go. All the best people are October the 16th, aren't they? Yeah. You're the diplomat, aren't you, in your family? You'll be the person, won't you, that has to always make sure that everyone's all right. You know, you probably find it quite challenging making decisions.
Everybody calls.
Everybody calls, yeah.
That's okay.
But it's just what we do. My husband is also born on the 16th of October as well. So we're both born on the 16th. Yeah, it's really interesting to see. But I just connect really strongly with the 16th or the 10th. Now, the 16 is a karmic number as well. So this is kind of slightly outside of Pythagorean numerology. The 16 is a karmic number. And when I say that, it means that, Diane, you've probably got a fear that you're going to lose everything all of a sudden. You know, it's like you're going to, all of a sudden, you're just going to lose everything or be betrayed by somebody. it's that comes up, the 16, because it actually goes back to a previous incarnation where you lost everything and you've brought that energy forward into this life experience. And it could have been like you were killed in a war or something like that. You lost everything all of a sudden. So you've got like that fear in this lifetime, because the 16 reduces to a 7, and the 7 is the spiritual teacher. So Diane, no one can tell you how to live your life. You have to learn it your own way. So even if, you kind of have to fall, dust yourself off and then get back up again, but you like to explore the deeper meaning behind life, because, the 7 is Neptunian energy. So this is like Atlantis, like turquoise and color therapy relates to the ancient mythical city, alleged mythical city of Atlantis. So it carries the wisdom of the whales and dolphins. It's got all of that sort of starry wisdom that's in there. And it's about mysteries, illusions, miracles, magic, and faith. So you like to explore the subconscious mind. So a lot of the time, the day number 7 people, they really want to, go into hypnotherapy, or they like to delve a bit deeper and explore. Now, the 16 in traditional tarot is represented by the Tower card. So often, that's why that sense of destruction, that explosion of old structures in your life for a consequent clarification comes in. So you might experience that through your lifetime as well, Diane, is where you have to lose everything and then rebuild it all. I've had plenty of those experiences, believe me. Yes, so it's just part and parcel. Remember, your soul agreed to this. Now you've also got you got the 3 ones there, okay, and then you've got another arrow of determination, which is there. You've got the 6 there as well. So you've got the arrow of the will. So you're actually a very strong-willed Libran, which is great. So probably very, very rarely take heed of either your own intuition or what other people are telling you to do. You've got this kind of, this is called the arrow of the will, and this is the arrow of determination. So that's quite fixed. So a lot of people might think, oh, Diane can be a bit, even though you've got that lovely soft Libran aspect to you, you're a very creative person, and you probably find that you love the home and the family, and you like being creative within the home environment as well. It's your kind of like your nurturing safe space, but you can express your creativity through your hands as well. So the 4 is the energy that kind of brings the creativity onto the physical plane. So it's a great strength of character. Now I can also see that you're a 9, 10, 19, 26, 27. So you're the same as me. You're a 27. So I'm a 27-9 as well. So you're a 16 and a 9. So me and you have got a lot in common, Diane. The 9 is the healer. So again, you're a counselor, healer. You're a spiritual teacher. Somebody who can share your wisdom with other people. You're very wise. But again, you've got to make sure that you speak to people at the time that it needs to be said, instead of suppressing your voice. Okay, otherwise you're going to get meek and mild and angry and frustrated, because red in color therapy carries a lot of anger if it's not expressed. And you see, the antidote to the orange and red related issues are found in the complementaries. So the opposite color of red is green, and the opposite color of orange is blue. So when you have a green and blue combination, that's your antidote, which is actually the communication bottle in the color mirrors. So you've got to learn how to communicate how you feel, but you learn through your own experiences. It makes you very wise, and then you want to share that information with other people. So you are a very wise spiritual teacher. Yeah, but the good news is, because you're a 27, the 27 carries the vibration of the harvest. Okay, and in the color mirrors, that is orange and gold. So that means that the work that you do as a humanitarian will be rewarded. So you will get your harvest. So you will find bliss and enlightenment through the work that you're doing. Okay. So, like how a lot of humanitarians, they end up, turning into like the servant rather than being of service. This isn't really going to happen to you. You're going to be the person who is able to put your wisdom to good use. And, it might be that you go into nursing or caring for old people. There's lots of ways that we can be a humanitarian, if we don't necessarily go into modalities. So Patricia says, when I add the numbers up across, it comes to a 2911. Okay, and that's you, Patricia, is it? Yeah. Can I see Patricia? I don't know if I can see Patricia, anyway, I'll just scroll along and see if I can find you. Oh, there you are, Patricia. Okay, I'll speak to you next, all right? Because you're a 2911. I want to demonstrate what all this means. Have I gone over? Or maybe I've talked for too long, have I? I think I have, haven't I?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Am I okay? Oh, cool. Great. Just let me know when you need to kick me off and I'll go. I'll just go to bed. Okay. So Diane, leave a few comments and let me know. Did that make sense for you, Diane? I'll just skip back to her and have a little look. And then I'll come to you, Patricia. Yeah, it did, yeah? Good. You can see how accurate it is. You know, you see colours and numbers don't lie because it is a universal language of light. So the only way that we can misinterpret it is if we don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? So Diane says, amazing. Thank you, Hayden. Turquoise is my go-to colour. There you go. Will the colour therapy lists in the report? Yes, indeed it does. It covers all of your colour therapy influences as well. And because the colour mirrors is a self-diagnosis system, I can't tell you what you need to bathe in, because the bottles, what we do is we pour them into our bath, we submerge our body and it goes into the cellular memory and it clears away the lie that's caught within the cells and replaces it with the truth. So it's almost like a catharsis where you have to get your own self out the way, you get your logical cognitive mind out the way and just allow it to do its thing. So it clears, you know, stuck patterns, frozen emotions and limiting beliefs. You know, that's how amazing they are. Incredible. So it was definitely channeled information through Melissa. Yeah. So Denny Van says colours and numbers don't lie. They don't. You know, you can trust them. You just have to learn to interpret them properly, because otherwise, you know, that's when people start doubting it if the numerologist doesn't really know what they're doing. Okay, so you're Patricia. Okay, so we are looking at the 6th of August, 8th. Oh, so you're Leo, 1950. 9, 8, 5, 6. I think I've got everything there. Yeah. Look at you guys. Look at you all go. Now, this is interesting. And I often say this when I do my lives on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel, that we get birds of a feather that flock together. So have you noticed that everybody that I've done so far has had this same arrow of determination? So this means that you're a group of exceptionally, you know, sort of determined and persistent ladies. You know, you're like dogs with bones. You know, you will see your goals through to finality, no problems whatsoever. And that's the same for you. So yes, you're a 9, 10, 18, 19, 23, 29. So the 29 comes in. So I want to talk about the 29. All right. So it is an 11. So the 11 is in the color mirror system. It's called duality. And it looks like black over white. Now, this is your last look at issues of separation. So what that means is that the 11 is a master number, and the 11s are here to, you know, they're very intuitive, they're psychic, they're clairvoyant. They're here to guide humanity forward into the new emerging golden age. That's what the 11s do. So it's a master number, but because the 1 and the 1 creates a 2, the 2 is feminine, so they're very sensitive. And sometimes the master 11s, they don't have they don't take the physical action that it needs to be able to do the work that their soul came here to do. Unlike the 22 over 4s, that, you know, is a master number, but it also carries the vibration of the 4, which is the doing aspect. So the 29 is called grace under pressure in the color mirrors system. Now it's a magenta and turquoise color combination, both deep colors. And that is the bottle of the Olympic spiritual athlete. So your soul, Patricia, has chosen a very challenging and difficult life experience for it to have a swift evolution of soul. So you probably get a lot more shit thrown at you than a lot of people, you know, and it's probably like, oh God, you know, why do I get it all thrown at me? Everyone else seems to, you know, have a smooth ride, but you will be the sort of person that would just get like all the twaddle thrown at you. But it's actually your soul's choice, you know, to have those experiences. So you've got to look at it from a higher perspective. So the 11 really is, you know, it's this beautiful energy. And if you think, you know, it looks like it's black and white, but actually, if you look closely, it's deep magenta over clear. Now, magenta in color therapy is the color of the soul. It's the color of divine love. And clear is the color of source consciousness. So actually, it's only an illusion that those two colors are separate, because they are actually, the meaning is the same thing. So for you, you have to look at your shadows during the course of your life. You have to learn to love your shadows as much as your light. And that's how, once you've illuminated it, you will help be able to release the guilt and go out of judgment of yourself, your parents, and your creator who got you into this mess in the first place. But saying that, you know, you are somebody who's very, very creative as well. So you've got this beautiful 6 as your day number. Now, 6 is Venus in the color mirror system, and it's the creative. But remember, all numbers and colors have both positive and negative connotations, just like, you know, just like everything really. And, you know, the opposite of creativity, which is the 6 is love, balance and harmony in relationships, and creativity is destruction. So the opposite of that is destruction. So when you're living negatively, Patricia, you could be prone to self-sabotage, to being the victim, to worry, to anxiety, all of that, because the shadow pattern of pink is the victim. So, you know, really part of your soul experience is to be more creative, to bring yourself out of the rescuer, because the rescuer ends up getting abused and then becomes the victim, you see. Because you're an empath, you will attract the narcissist. You know, it's just what happens with this. So your lessons really are about transcending the role of the victim. You know, you have got determination. You know, you are very independent. The 8 is independence, organization, and control. So you've got those beautiful strengths about your personality as well, but you struggle to communicate how you feel as well. So there is only, when you only got 1 in your birth chart, it's difficulties with verbal self-expression. I'm not too concerned about the lack of the 2, because you're an 11, which carries the vibration of the 2. So, you know, really you're a creative, you're a creative clairvoyant. You know, it's something like that are your strengths when you're expressing yourself positively. When you express yourself negatively, you might feel very isolated, and you might feel very like people are treating you bad, and you're a bit of a poor me. All right, just saying. You know, it's you know, you've probably been all of that, Patricia, have you? Yeah, but come out of it the other side, I think, with that lovely smile on your face there. I can imagine you came out of it the other side just fine. Is that right? You go on, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Oh, you're right on, because all of that, I meditate and do all this work about 5 hours just to get myself out of it. And I'm emerging, but I bottled everything up. I was an empath, took everything on, and always had this false smile on my face. Oh yeah. Yep, it is.
Yeah. But you've come out
I
of it.
should write a book on stuffing.
You should write a book. You are an expert. Well, you know, the experts are the people that have been through the stuff themselves and can teach other people how to get through it. So you know that, yeah? Yeah, I do. I spell Dreamtime double-E. So it's Dreamtime with a double E and not a DREAM. Yeah. So the reason why I did that is because it's a modern take on an ancient wisdom. And, you know, in respect to the indigenous of Australia, I didn't want to sort of like, I didn't want to hijack their word, you know what I mean? And you know, and also, you know, Dreamtime is a deep delta brainwave state. It's actually deeper than that. It's more of a somnambulistic brainwave state. So when we enter a Dreamtime state, you know, it's where we can access the Akashic records. But it also, you know, it's a play on words, because, you know, a lot of the students who come through Dreamtime Academy, they use it as their opportunity to start dreaming about how they want their life to be. So it's their dream time, you know. I mean, it was formed after I had my midlife awakening, and it was because I was, you know, I'd done 15 years in IT recruitment, and I hated every day of it, you know, but I was good at it. And I thought that's what people wanted me to do. So I just continued doing it. But fortunately, I woke up. But you remember, we've always got to be asleep first, because we need to wake up, and life wouldn't be a test if we knew all the answers, would it? So there we go. So I don't know how much time I've got left. Am I running out? Do you want to ask me?
15 minutes, please.
Oh, 15 minutes. Okay, great. I can go to somebody else then. So, all right then. So I want the first person who puts down what my day number and ruling number is in the comments section will get the next insights. Okay, so this will be my final set of insights for today. So whoever can put it in there. Okay, Denny, no, I'm not a 9 and a 29. No, you were listening, half listening there. You must have nodded off. I'm not a 3, Suzanne. There you go. So Suzanne, you've got half of it right. So what's my day number is and my ruling number is so if you put the day first and then the ruling number. Okay, so Denny, you were half there, and Susan, you were half there. So you can work it out from there. There you go. No, not a 21. Come on, you must have been listening. Who's going to get it right? So remember, Denny was half right. She said 9 and 29, and Susan Finley was half right as well, because she said 7. So what is it? Not an 11. No, not a 7 and a 29. There you go. There's a link actually, Patricia, above in the feed, which gives you a link through to the report. I don't know if the administrator could repost that. That'd be awesome. Oh, there you go. Okay, so none of you are getting it right. So I'm very disappointed in you ladies. Here's me giving my 11 o'clock on a Saturday night to you guys, and you're not even listening. Disgusting, really, isn't it? Shocked and appalled. I know, you should be. Right, I'm going to go to, let's have a look. I am going to go to Jean. Jean, are you still there? Where's Jean? There you are, Jean's iPad. Hi, Jean. Hi there. Jean in the pink. Okay. And that's my mum's middle name. My mum's middle name, she's called Hilary Jean Gay, believe it or not. I know how ironic. There you go. So you're the 4th of the 3rd, 1949. Oh, my mum was born on 1949 as well. So there you go. It must have been a popular name in 1949, eh? So, okay, so you got the 2 4s, you got 2 9s, you've got a 1 and a 3. Ah, okay, you've got an interesting chart to look at, actually. Okay, so what we can see there, so fortunately, we haven't got another arrow of determination, because that would have just been boring, wouldn't it? So what we can see here is that Jean's got no arrows on her soul plane, okay? So what this means is that she gets easily hurt. So she's got a weak soul protection. She's hypersensitive. Now, you like the practical, the material aspects of life, you know, the physical aspects of life as well. The 2 4s, remember the 4 is practical. So when you've got an amplification of the 4, it's like, you know, you like those nice things in life, nice house, nice car, nice clothes, nice hair, nice dog, you know, so and you're good with your hands, you know, so you're very good with your hands. Now, your imagination tends to run away with you a little bit, Jean. Okay, so what I mean by this is that the 3 is isolated, so it has got no numbers around it. And this is your imagination, your memory, and it's also connected with analysis as well. So when it's isolated, it means the imagination can run away with itself. And, you know, sometimes you can see things that aren't really there. Now, you struggle as well to communicate how you feel. And you're also very ambitious because your 9s are isolated too. So you're very wise, very idealistic. You look at the world through rose-colored spectacles and a nice rose-colored jumper. And then you've also got, you know, this great sense of ambition as well, and responsibility about you as well. So we can see that, you know, this very sensitive soul who's very wise, vivid imagination, likes the material and physical and practical aspects of life. And then you've got the 9, 10, 19, 23, 26, 26, 30. So we're ruling 3. Now, the 3s are more aligned to the arts than the sciences. The 3s are very sociable when they're living positively. And, you know, they like community-based projects and getting involved in that. They've got far more important things to do with their life purpose than get a normal humdrum day job. That's not them at all. They are inspired by music and lyrics and poetry. You know, they love writing and publishing and all of this sort of stuff, you know. So, but when they're living negatively, they can be very critical. They can be a bit judgy. Yeah. When you're living negative, they'll be like, oh, well, you know, they're a bit like this, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, but it's an interesting trait. But when you're positive, it's very sociable. Now, the three can often suffer from low self-esteem and self-doubt. The three is Jupiter in the color mirror system, which is this beautiful coral colored bottle, coral over coral. Now, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, so it wants expansion. So your soul wants expansion too. So, you know, for you, you've got to get to a place of self-acceptance. So you finally can stand up in the world and say, this is who I am. Okay, and that will be through a process of maybe questioning your beliefs or letting go of self-doubt or low self-esteem and valuing yourself more. Coral is the color of the new Christ ray. So it's when we mix pink unconditional love with gold authentic power and wisdom together. That's what creates the color coral. And that's the Christ is human on the planet. So someone who with a day number 3, they've got that potential of aligning with this sense of unconditional love and their own authentic power. For you again, having the 4 energy as your day number, the 4 is Uranus, which is that planet of the future. So you do have to go through a process within your life experience of letting go of old structures within your life that no longer serve you. Okay, so letting go of old people or places or beliefs, letting that all go so that you can again pave the way for the new emerging golden age. Now, a way to rebalance your chart. So this is an interesting thing about numerology as well, is when we understand the personality traits within the birth chart, we can also go, okay, so how can I rebalance this with colors and numbers? Well, what we're looking for here is a way of kind of putting some influences on the soul plane, because there's no 2, there's no 5, and there's no 8. So opening the heart would be a beautiful way for Jean to be able to kind of rebalance. So wearing pink is the perfect color for her, because pink is the color of the heart, the evolved heart, really. Green's the color of the old heart energies, which is like embodies a bit of jealousy and resentment and envy and that sort of thing. But when the heart energy is evolved, it actually goes pink. And pink is, the unconditional love. So remember that when we love ourselves enough on the inside, our reality reflects that on the outside. So opening the heart is a beautiful, soft and gentle way. So, even if you haven't got the color mirrors available to you, you can use a rose quartz, or you can eat pink foods, or you can wear pink clothes. If you don't have any, if you haven't got a 5 in your chart, you could do that. If you haven't got a 2 in your chart, which is your feminine aspects, then you could put in like you could eat blueberries, anything that brings in the energy of the 3rd eye chakra, indigo or royal blue or violet. Things like that would help to bring that energy back in. So I want to tell you a little story before I go, and that's just really about how the numbers tell a story from 1 through to 9. And this is a great way for you to be able to remember what the numbers mean. So if you think of the 1 as being masculine, the 2 as being feminine. So the man and the woman get together. They have a baby, which is number 3. So the 3 is the man and the woman together having the baby. Then they build a house, which is number 4. They need a house to live in. And then they decide that they want to, after they built the house, they want to go on holiday. Okay, so that's the number 5. So they, the box opens, and the number 5, they go out and explore. And then once they've had their travels and they've had their adventure, they decide to come back and they decorate their house. That's the 6 energy. The 6 is being creative within the home. And then they decide that, okay, so they've made the home beautiful, and now they want to learn something. They want to learn something that they can offer to people. So they go back to college, and that's your 7. And the 8 then is like they set up their own business with the knowledge that they've gained, and they make lots of money. Okay, so that's the 8. And then finally, they decide to go out into the world as philanthropists with all the money that they've earned and be of service to humanity. And that's the 9. So that's the story of the numbers in a very, very simple and easy way to remember. Okay, and if you remember that, you can't really go far wrong. So there you go. Hopefully that's made sense for you today. I hope you've enjoyed watching me today. It's been a joy seeing all your lovely, smiling, happy faces. Sorry if I didn't get round to seeing you all today. And so bye to Denny and Elizabeth Porter and Cody and Diane and the other Diane that I didn't get a chance to speak to, and Andrea, Suzanne, and yeah, it's been a pleasure seeing you all right, so lots of love and enjoy the rest of this amazing global function. Bye for now.